What's up? Thank you so much for listening to 5280 Film Room. I'm Alyssa.
I'm Gideon.
I'm Miles.
And I'm Jordan.
And we are incredibly excited to get to talk some Broncos football with you guys. It has been a very long time.
We're back, baby.
Football's back.
No,
we're back.
But we're back too.
Yeah.
Far more important than NFL football being back. 5280 Film Room.
Yes.
Is back. And last night was the Hall of Fame game. Broncos versus Falcons. Broncos walked away with a super exciting and thoroughly meaningless victory.
Hey, it went down to the wire.
It was a fun game. It was a thoroughly engaged game. No, I was entertained. And in this meaningless game, I yelled at the TV multiple times.
Nice.
And it reminds me why football is my favorite.
Well, a lot of these players on the field don't really know what they're doing.
That's
the game's going a lot faster than what they're used to. So it makes sense that you were yelling, like, what are you doing?
No, like, excited. Like, that touchdown at the end. I was legitimately, like,
you were
pumped
jumping up and down.
I thought you meant, like, frustrated yelling, because there was lots of points where it's like, what are you thinking?
One of those fans throwing a fit. You know who you are. You are all over social media freaking out. It was a meaningless preseason game. The first of 5.
No, 0 of 4.
0 of 4. Right. It didn't even happen, guys. It was a figment of our imaginations. It's just a very special dream we all had at the same time.
But we won.
If you're freaking out, stop freaking out. But we won. And according to the head coach, Vic Fangio, when asked if winning helped him feel better post his hospitalization for kidney stones, he was quoted in saying, "Winning has cured more ails than penicillin ever could."
Yes. Put her on a bumper sticker.
It's a lot of words for a bumper sticker, but put it on a shirt.
See, there's no reason for you to go to the doctor. There's no reason for you to get some over-the-counter meds. All you need is a good win.
Right?
Go out there, work hard, get you a W, and you'll feel better.
No, it has to be a Broncos win, specifically.
Well, yeah, that would be nice, but, we always talk about,
we
did this, we did that, but then when our team loses, it's like, dang, they suck.
Right? The pronouns of sports fandom are a fascinating construct, because it is all about
so that's
we
what I'm saying,
when we're doing well, and all about they when losing is
You're
happening.
not part of the team, but, like, wins cure ails, right? So go out and get yourself a win. Go sell that account, or, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Golf under 100 for
Beat
18 rounds.
Beat your friend in rock, paper, scissors.
Call your mom.
18 rounds. That'd be quite the score.
Holes,
that was
rounds.
for you, Sherry.
Yeah.
Call your mom.
All the hole-in-ones.
18 instances of golfing. How about that? Like, one hole is one instance. 18 units of golf.
So,
yes.
Based on that first showing from our second, third, and fourth stringers, who stood out? Who caught your eye? Had a glimmer?
Well, obviously, Juwan Winfrey, right?
Yes.
I think he had 2 catches. I was
Yeah.
looking at the box
The
score.
the first time he was targeted, he dropped it, and it was embarrassing.
Yeah, I think he was 2 of 3.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I can't remember. Oh, no, Muhammad. What's his first name? Kalfani. He was like 5 of 7 receiving. Like, he was getting a lot of work in.
Had a great
from
game.
the backfield. Like, obviously had his touchdown, but
7 carries for 50
Winfrey
yards.
was completely under the radar up until he got the winning touchdown catch. But
it was a good catch.
Even Chris Harris was giving him compliments. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. He was saying, I like that number 15. He plays stronger than he looks, and he's tall, and he's got good hands. And Winfrey's like, yeah. Like,
I'm just
thanks
always
for the praise.
Impressed with a young player when first target, he dropped it. Pass he very clearly should have caught. And then to be able to have enough maturity from a psychological standpoint to go back out with confidence. And that catch for a touchdown at the end was fun.
Well,
it was fun football.
He was teammates with Philip Lindsay at CU, so I'm sure Philip Lindsay gave the coaching staff a little bit of an insight of what kind of player and drive that this kid's got. And if he's been around Philip Lindsay, which that kind of character definitely rubs off on other people, I think.
Infectious.
So it's like, dang, we got this little dude, and he's like kicking butt. Like, all right, yeah, I got to do my job then. Because Winfrey's like 6'2", 6'3". He's 210 pounds. Like, he's already
Very
built for, like...
stereotypical build.
And he's, like, great route running skills and good hands. So now it's like, all right, like... The only reason why I know all this is because I looked him up after his touchdown catch. But, like,
Yeah.
you know, I knew we drafted him. I was like, all right, cool, like another CU kid. That's great. I love it when the Broncos give Colorado kids, or, you know, whether or not you grew up here, but, like, just go into our colleges. Like, what was it, Kyle Sloter, right?
Team Sloter!
Yeah, went to the UNC.
Yeah, like, that's awesome. We've had countless guys from CSU come through the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty sweet to see.
Philip Lindsay's the first one in a long time that's stuck, though.
Oh, yes, for sure.
For sure. Anyone else stick out?
I thought Muhammad, like, I didn't know anything about him until last night. I thought he kind of stole the show.
He's confident. He's got really fast feet and good eyes. Like, he was just reading.
Well, I mean,
so well.
It's kind of like when Adam Gotsis went out there. He swatted the pass after blowing up their offensive linemen. It's like, all right, obviously there's a talent difference.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
By a vast majority.
Right.
So it shows, like, Muhammad, he had played last year and the year before. He was drafted in 2017. So he's not a rookie. This isn't his first year in the league. Like, he knows the pace of play and what's expected of him.
That was
so
obvious,
I think,
yeah.
like, obviously he's supposed to have a good game if he's ready to continue to progress his game. So it'd be interesting to see if he gets any work in against better players in probably I want to say the second preseason game, but for us it's going to be the third.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that one would be a good show of Muhammad's real talent.
Right.
Whereas, like, you know, yeah, you see Adam Gotsis go in there for one series and he's like
Destroying
the most
people.
dominant
Yeah.
player
Oh, yeah.
on the field.
Exactly.
On defense, Draymond Jones and Malik Reed stuck out to me.
Draymond Jones, I think, is going to be solid.
Was he the guy that got the pick?
Nose tackle.
Who? Oh, nose tackle.
He was
He was the one
destroying
blowing
it
up the
on
line
that
of the
final
game.
drive.
Okay.
Yes.
I was playing volleyball most of the night last
Malik
night. So.
Reed had a really pretty sack. It was just pretty. It was perfect. Perfect textbook sack. And
Nice.
he had to work for it. Like, he had to fight his way around a couple different O-linemen.
That's oh yeah, he did the swim move or something.
Yeah.
Like, he did something crazy.
Yep.
That was really
It was
nice.
pretty. Malik Reed.
Well, the defense just looked good overall. Like, I can't think of a missed tackle that the defense had. And that was a big issue for them last season.
And I think a lot of that comes down to Fangio, and, like, he's a defensive mastermind, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't put him up there with who's coaching the Rams defense right now?
Wade Davis?
You did not just
Wade
have to
Davis?
ask that question.
Did you really just say Wade
Wade
Davis?
Davis pitches for the Rockies.
Wade Davis.
Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips.
See, that's where I was
baseball
at. I was
season.
like, it's not Wade Davis.
Papa Wade.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Achilles best friend.
Yeah, but don't make fun of me for not knowing when
You're
your
right.
husband drops the ball right
Yeah,
there.
Jordan.
Jeez.
Still baseball season.
There's too many Wades in
Davis.
Colorado
There
sports
are a
fans'
lot.
lives.
For
Okay?
Wade being not a particularly common name, it's not like Chris. Like, we have a lot of Wades in Colorado sports.
Yep.
Wade Phillips, yeah.
I can only think of two. And it's those two guys.
Just moving on. No, Fangio's definitely shown, like, hey, it doesn't matter how good or bad the players are that he has. He obviously knows how to coach defense.
I heard something interesting today that kind of surprised me on one of the sports radio stations. Someone commented that they think under Fangio's defensive scheme, we should be prepared for Chubb and Miller to get less sacks. Because the scheme's going to be more creative and they'll be used more frequently as decoys to give other players a chance to get to the QB.
I think
Thoughts?
Von Miller is going to be like, I'm
Reactions?
getting my sacks.
Feedback?
Yeah.
I don't really believe that.
I thought it was a really odd statement. It caught me off guard on my drive to work this morning. I was like,
Who was saying this nonsense?
Mark Schlereth.
Oh, yeah, because
Okay.
he was an,
Yeah.
he was an offensive
or
guy.
Mike Evans. Literally, their voices blend together for me when it's 7 in the morning and I've had no coffee. They are one and the same.
I just think you're better off just sending Von Miller to the quarterback on 80% of the plays.
Yeah,
'Cause he's going to take a double team, and a lot of times he's
Yeah.
going to beat that double team.
And he's already told that the fans, like, I'm gonna have a better season. Like this last year, I could have done better.
And if you didn't believe it, watch the Jazzercise video and you'll see. You'll see the fire in his eyes. He is ready to win, stay on beat, do some high kicks. I think that's my favorite thing about Vaughn is he doesn't take himself too seriously. He is one of the most famous athletes in the NFL, and he is just a big, goofy kid.
Well, he loves his fans. He loves his community. He loves the game that he plays. Mm-hmm. You know, what's not to like about him? There we go. He's like the Drew Brees on the offensive side. Only early on in his career, he liked to smoke a little reefer, but who didn't?
It's legal in Colorado.
Who didn't?
Yeah.
The important thing is, he's been a stand-up guy and a great player, and he's no Greg Hardy, so. He's just as dominant, if not more. Well, he's actually still playing, so.
Exactly. Yeah.
From just like the strictly Broncos emotional side of last night, watching Champ be recognized, and then the 6 Bolin kids walk out in place of their dad, like holding hands,
arm in arm,
very unified.
Well, they know
the Broncos
they know the public
fan in me.
perception.
I mean, I obviously cried. I cry at everything. Cry at Trevor Story home runs. But I cried. And then I was like, is this genuine or is this a really, really good PR rep?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And then when
I'm sure they all do love each other.
Oh, no, and there's no doubt of that at all. Like they're siblings. Like no matter.
I know some siblings that absolutely loathe each other.
but there's love under the loathe.
And I'm sure
maybe.
And I'm sure they could put their differences aside for one
their
night
dad.
for Pat.
But when it came down to who got to speak, like they interviewed Ed Reed and Tony Gonzalez and Champ, like everyone had a moment where they were being directly interviewed, and when it came to Pat, it was Beth.
What does that mean?
Well, she's the oldest, right?
No.
She's not the oldest?
She's not the oldest. Beth and Brittany are the two.
Brittany's the oldest?
No.
Oh.
Who is the oldest?
I don't know.
There's so many.
I don't know. It's like, what does that mean?
Amy is the oldest.
Maybe Beth knew
what
her father the best.
Or does it mean nothing? But it's very well known within the media that it's Beth and Brittany who are both seeking the ownership role.
Right.
And they have different moms.
Right.
I just really hope it can be. I would love for them to come to a really sappy Disney story, like amicable resolution, where everyone has a part.
But
that's not how the world works. I know.
When do you think the NFL contacted her and was like, "We want to talk to you," or do you think the family decided you're going to be the one that talks?
The representative? I don't know. We'll never know.
They pulled straws.
If you watch the NFL Network at all, who is it? The Raiders quarterback's older brother. Derek Carr.
David
Carr.
Oh, there's too many D's.
Derek Carr is the quarterback.
David Carr, there's a promo that constantly runs. And this line is in every promo where it's the NFL is the best reality television in the world.
Yeah.
And they say this on the NFL Network. At least they're self-aware.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what?
Well, then, I mean, I would say
are we getting placed in, the classy? Are the Broncos going to be the classy reality show venue?
I mean, we haven't gone to Hard Knocks yet, so
I don't think we ever will.
That's where it kind of borderlines trashy media.
Oh well, if you consume a lot of reality TV, Hard Knocks is classy.
Right.
That's
true.
true.
I'm just saying, bringing that into the world of professional sports is a tough market, and
who is it this year?
The Browns Hard Knocks. I enjoyed watching it. I watched it because I was interested.
Bizarrely entertaining.
But I hadn't watched any of the previous ones, and at the same time, I know the Broncos actually turned it down for this year. I think
that they turned it down a couple times.
Yeah, I think you always said that you would never allow it.
They were approached the first season.
But I think that has something to do with not just the integrity of your team, but the old school
The integrity
mentality
of, like-
would be like, hey, like there's no place for this. Like what goes on in our practices or training camp is between the coaches, the players, and the fans.
And and the fans. And I think that's what the Broncos are exceptional at and makes them special. I didn't realize most training camps, if you want to go as a fan, you have to pay for a ticket.
Yeah. At a lot of them, yeah. The Packers
All
have
of
a free
them.
one. an
Packers
open
are
one.
another free one.
Yeah.
Like, more often than not, it is a paid ticket to attend. And all of ours are free. And not only are all of them free, there's a crap load of them.
Well, they also just renovated the
Dove Valley's
facility
beautiful.
too. Like, it was like $100 million or something crazy.
So they would have every reason to charge ticket.
Right. No. But they've also...
Jordan, the salesman.
We also have such a loyal fan base. I think we were ranked like number 7 best fans in like
something
most
like that.
most loyal, but also like most intense.
This is where the
in the
NFL is
league.
really going
So it's
full
like-
reality show.
Like the
they
Broncos
rank
know,
the best fan bases.
win or
They
lose,
rank
they're
the
always
top
going to sell
100.
tickets. They're not
Yeah.
going to turn into like what like the Jaguars. I know the Jaguars. Or no, the
Jets.
Niners. When the Niners first opened their new stadium, they had a hard time putting butts in the seats.
Well, I remember like 5 years ago, the Cardinals were selling tickets for $1
Yeah.
because they couldn't get people to come to the stadium.
We'll pay you to
Yikes.
come
Yeah,
watch.
and even
The
when the
Bron-
Broncos are bad, their tickets are like
Yeah.
$65 for the worst
People are
seats.
still
Oh,
gonna
and the
go.
nosebleeds, right?
That's what I'm saying. Is like that's why they can do free training camps is because they know, win or lose, the fans are staying.
All I hope is that the classiness and the tact and the professionalism that the Bullen kids have displayed thus far, while they've had a lot of limelight because of the Hall of Fame, is genuine and continues on through the decision-making process. And that they don't let themselves get roped into what the NFL clearly wants to be a circus.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
I-
when there's what a $1.4 billion franchise up
There's-
for grabs, basically.
There's
like,
literally 7 kids.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is the most popular television show that's aired in a decade.
So, yeah.
There are 7 kingdoms. Do you know how easy it would be
Someone might
to
die.
set up a bizarro, like, comparative, like, who will take the throne of the Bullen Kingdom? Bruh, bruh, bruh. It would be marketable AF and an absolute waste of everyone's time.
The game
But
of
I
bowlings.
just guarantee you, like, exactly. That's like the NFL would love nothing more.
Well, the NFL has had plenty of circuses lately. I think the NFL wants a decision, which is understandable. I think the NFL media wants a circus.
I think the NFL party line is we want a decision. I think the NFL
Any
we
media
want
is
your
good
money
media.
is any publicity is good publicity.
You think
and
Roger
bad
Goodell-
publicity makes the most
I
money.
think Goodell's loving it.
You think he wants a dramatic shit show?
Goodell,
I don't
okay.
think he cares.
that.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think he
think
cares.
Goodell is anything more than a face.
Like he knows it's not like the commissioner can't make any decision on what
Right.
happens. Like if anything goes to a decision maker, it's gonna be like the state Supreme Court or something like that.
Like they say the owners run the NFL. Do you think the other 31 owners want this to be, a dramatic
they don't
scene?
care.
If it takes the eyes
I'm sure
off
they
them.
want
That's-
somebody
that's-
that is representing the Broncos.
No, I'm sure they want it to continue because if there's not a true leadership, that makes it
And it
easier
makes the
team to
Broncos
beat.
vulnerable, and it makes
Yeah.
the Broncos look
So
like
yeah,
they'd be
if I was a
successful.
different owner and that's my
We're gonna-
competition,
this is
like
the-
yeah, take as long as
Game
you
of
guys need.
Thrones.
I don't know.
Let your trust is running your franchise into the ground. That's not my own personal opinion. But if I was another owner, I'd be like, yeah, let your trust screw everything up. Like, take as much time as you need.
I don't
While
know.
we go to the playoffs, so like the Raiders. Like, while all this crap's going on, all of a sudden the Raiders are going to be a sneaky
very-
good team this year.
Easy sneak attack.
Unless AB is not that good.
He's good, but I don't know.
That'll be a
Not
fun
that
storyline
good,
to
yeah.
follow. Once again, the NFL is the greatest reality television of all time.
Yeah, so...
It will be interesting.
According to the NFL
I think,
Network
I
and
think
David
the
Carr.
perception outside of the Broncos, I don't think the owners or the commissioner really care when or if this gets resolved. In the meantime, like, yes, the Broncos organization, this needs to be resolved. For the fans, like, why drag all this through the mud just so that someone can, like, be in control or be
Like,
calling the
this
shots?
might
Like,
be dramatic, but I would not be horribly shocked if someone from the Bullen family was approached of like, can we film a 6-episode special?
It's probably already happened.
Keeping up with the Kardashian style.
But
bullshit.
no, like this is for the girls. It's like, who wants to be the next Jeannie Buss? Like, she's running the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're the inheritess of a giant franchise.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I completely disagree. Like, I think it's more.
As far as status
I think it's
is
more the
concerned
trust that is preventing anything from happening. The quote trust, where it's Joe Ellis and then the lawyer and whoever else.
Particularly specific word.
They don't want to give up power
trust.
of the Broncos because they.
No, but now that Pat has passed, they have to relinquish.
Exactly.
Once.
I think
so
the
now
NFL wants a decision to be made so that they actually have somebody in charge. Instead of like, who do we answer to and who do we ask questions? Like, what the heck's going on?
Well, and then there's
the trust is in control until like it's all part of Pat Bowlen's estate. So like this hasn't been resolved. It's in the court system right now. Like until the courts make a decision, I don't think the commissioner has any say on how quickly it happens or who ends up running it.
But what other fan base in the NFL really cares right now?
No one.
Exactly. So
that's why I said
why
everyone
is the NFL like loving the fact that there's no decision being made yet?
Because it's extra clicks that lead them to their league, whether you're a fan or not.
Whether you're a fan or not,
because it's in the news, it's a headline.
Title,
people love drama. It goes back to
like Michael Thomas holding out is a lot more interesting than.
But he's not holding out. He got a $100 million contract.
That's a lot more interesting to like a diehard football fan. There are plenty of NFL fans who are here for the drama.
Yes.
But this isn't interesting. Like, they haven't played it
Not
up
to
like
you.
this is a big deal.
That's your personal opinion, right?
No, I think it's interesting because I'm a Broncos fan.
Right,
I'm talking about the rest of the NFL.
You don't think it's dramatic?
I
think it's super dramatic. But
okay,
the NFL hasn't played it up like that. They've kind of swept it under the rug.
I think the media... I think they've let the media...
Enough,
I'm on NFL.com a lot.
So
that's
I'm
like
on,
the only
okay.
We're talking
so
like
I'm
MSN.
On, like, Instagram
like
and Facebook
9
and all
News.
that crap all the time.
But that's the media.
There was a
that's what we're talking about.
Okay. There was a super clickbaity article about the side plot of who could be the owner. And it was this whole thing of the Mannings have been spending a particular amount of time at Dove Valley. Archie's there. Peyton's there.
Well, Peyton
are the
here.
Mannings trying to take over the Broncos dynasty?
What?
Right? No, I'm not saying there's validity to it, but there was a whole clickbait-ridden article.
It was for the people that are
centered around that.
"quote unquote" fans, but they're not like
the people who can
fans.
go, I know who Peyton Manning is. I will read this, and then read it, and all of a sudden the Broncos ownership is somehow on their radar. So when the next clickbaity crap pops up, they'll read it.
But is that like Peter Schrager like throwing that out there?
No, it was an article, and it
popped
up.
It's all stuff to get people to click it and view it, and advertisements and stuff like that. But
people that aren't even associated with the NFL are writing these articles, which I can see that like trying to get that clickbait.
Yeah.
But I don't think the NFL is enjoying the so-called circus.
I don't think they care.
I don't think they care what the media says or
like
doesn't
if you were not a Broncos fan, if you were only a Tom Brady fan, God rest your soul.
I might be that. I don't know.
Would you be interested in what's going on right now
with the Broncos?
Yeah.
No.
So
it's not messy.
That's the way the league looks at it. These are all people that are just as well versed in the world and the sport and everything. But at the end of the day, the general populace of fans and even regular Joe Schmo people, like, we just moved to a new state. What's going on? Like, we want to have things to talk about at work so that I don't look like a weirdo. Like, hey, did you guys hear about this and that? Like, that's just one extra thing to make you feel like you're in the know. And there's people out there that, like, don't know about the Broncos, but hey, yeah, I'm a Broncos fan. I've lived in Colorado for like 20 years, but, can't say I really watch football week to week. But yeah, I like the Broncos. Like, there's millions of people out there like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the ones that care, quote unquote, that, there's some crazy stuff happening with ownership. How many billions of dollars? Like, wow, this is interesting. It's
there's
like
money in
that
particular level of fan.
But we went from saying the NFL cares about it being a circus.
I never said that.
I said that. I think the NFL would love nothing more than to watch it spiral out of control from a distance.
I agree on the other
from a distance,
owners,
but they couldn't be at a distance.
But they don't have any.
Because then it would be more evidence that the NFL has no control over their players or their teams or what happens. I think they want this to go as smooth as possible and just.
But this isn't a situation where like other owners can vote on something.
Right.
No.
Like this is a situation that is entirely out of the NFL's control. And that's what I'm saying.
And if it truly gets out of control, everybody else will say this is another piece of evidence that the NFL doesn't know.
Okay, so
doing.
when you're talking about, let's say, $1 billion, and you're in the public's view, the last thing you want as an individual is to paint a bad picture of yourself, for people to hate you for years to come. So when you're talking about money like this and controlling a franchise, like to create another dynasty
and not
like
just the money,
make something that's
but
part
the
of your
identity
legacy.
of a city.
But you're gonna hold yourself to a certain standard. When you go to a nice restaurant, do you eat with your hands or like?
I wish, but no.
but you don't
Exactly.
you don't slurp your drink or anything. It's the same kind of mindset. Like when you're dealing with like possibly being in control of something as important as this for that individual, then yeah, you're gonna be on your best behavior. You're not gonna get in trouble. You're gonna try and paint yourself in the best light possible to make sure that you have the best possibility of having control of the team. And
but if you have a higher entity over you, that could, make you look like a disaster.
no, it might get
which is the NFL
It
and
might
the other
get
owners.
disastrous, like behind closed doors. Sure, you might yell at each other and stuff, but like you're gonna be
But I don't
damn
think they
sure
want
that
I
there's
don't think
no
anybody
cameras.
wants that in that
Anyone
room.
would want.
No one
is
has
coverage
control
of that.
over it. That's my whole point, though.
Well, coverage of it, yeah.
That-
I don't
The
think the
coverage-
other owners or the NFL wants that.
I
A
don't
reporter
disagree.
wants that.
I disagree.
Whether they want it or not, I'd say it's out of their control. So whatever happens. You just have to deal with it. If it gets ugly, like let's say Beth chokes out Brittany in the middle of like a joint
We
interview.
go all real
Like-
world on this.
Like
Sibling roughhousing.
even if that happened, I think the NFL would be like, people are
they
reading
would
articles
be
about
replaying
this.
that
Like,
clip on Total Access, on Good Morning Football, on every single piece of programming the NFL Network puts
Like,
out.
if it was-
they would be replaying it over and over.
if
and
it was that
over
big of
again.
an issue, they'd be suppressing news and reports of their players abusing their family members or doing drugs and stuff like that. Like they kind of have to let those things surface,
They
and
kinda
it's
have
like
to lean
if it's a
in.
black eye on the league, that's part of being such a large entity within people's lives. Guess what? You're gonna be under the microscope. Like
I'm sure they don't want that.
I'm not saying they
The
want it
media
or don't want it.
probably
I'm
You know
wants
what
saying
sure,
I'm
that
sure
but-
of?
they know they
We
like
will
the
never
coverage.
know what they want.
Exactly.
Because they are
Mm-hmm.
really good at what they do.
Like I'm just saying, I think it's the trust that's more holding up
Between
the decision, and
tru-
the NFL wants a decision to be made.
But
the
what
rest of the NFL does
what
too.
trust are you talking about?
So Joe Ellis, Pat Malone's lawyer, and do you remember, Alyssa, who the third one is? It's three people that currently own the team. And they're the ones
They are
that
the
they're going to
trust.
make the decision.
Oh,
of
the
who-
trust. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying like trust as in
No,
the,
the trust. Capital T,
the
capital
verb.
T.
No. Yeah, the trust.
Like I thought you were talking about like the NFL owners and like the commissioner. Like what trust
Was
is between
Annabelle
those
on the
two
trust
entities.
before she was diagnosed with
Ugh.
Alzheimer's?
Oh, I think she was. Yeah.
And then she got diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Yeah. So she's not part of it.
Rich is the lawyer.
But I think the biggest
I
issue
don't remember.
is
Probably. I don't remember what his name was.
Joe Ellis, Rich, Slivka, and Mary Kelly
I think the
That
biggest
served
issue
as
is
trustees.
Beth's argument is like she's the oldest.
And most prepared. There's a checklist of things.
But I
that-
think Brittany was like the fast track groomed choice.
Yes.
And I have no preference. I have no idea.
I
just I want there to be a decision made.
I, as a fan, could not care less because I'm not in control. It's not going to change my viewpoint of the Broncos.
But the team has not been the same since Pat Bowlen relinquished his control of the team. That's why I am
It hasn't
concerned
been the
about
same.
this whole situation.
I mean, McDaniels also is not our coach anymore, so that's a bonus.
Yes.
So that was the last year that Pat Bowlen
Was cognizant.
controlling the team. I wouldn't say cognizant. I would say...
Well, from a medical standpoint, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, we did improve in some places, but, the trust wasn't meant to be there for an entire decade. And we are pushing the better half of a decade now on this trust. So, I think it's definitely prudent for a decision to be made so that, the organization can move on. But ultimately, it's out of everyone's control. The league, the fans, even John Elway and Joe Ellis. It's out of their control.
Although Ellis is the controlling delegate.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying right now is all of this is within the court system.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All the wheels are in motion.
Yeah.
Joe Ellis can't just be like, nope, the trust is gonna keep controlling the team. Like, no,
Right.
that's not your decision to make.
The law is involved.
The law's involved.
I think the CBA will come up before a decision's made.
But that's not gonna affect.
No, I know it's not going to affect, but I think the CBA is going to come up before then.
This is like
2021.
a really deep rabbit hole we did not have the agenda to go down, but I'm kind of fascinated we did.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, because it started with the NFL is the best reality
According
TV
to
show.
David Carr. They play that
And
clip
see,
all
yeah,
the
it
time.
took up 15 minutes of our podcast.
All right,
I think
moving
it's
on.
closer to 30.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving along.
So, because it's August 2nd, and clearly we are just well into fall, we're going to be completely reasonable and do our predictions for the season.
24-0.
Broncos are undefeated right
Yes.
now.
Boom!
Best team in the league.
All right, gut instincts.
No one's proven it otherwise.
I'll date this. So we can all, if we want to do this again later, we are welcome to.
We can
But
date our edits.
As of August 2nd, 2019.
Put our decisions like on the
speed
left
round.
side.
We're just
in
doing
case
speed
we
round.
want to change it.
It's a good idea.
Like
Yeah, so
don't
just do,
put it dead center because there's gonna be
just on the left
changes.
side.
Okay.
There's gonna be changes.
And I'm sure we'll predict scores and
Yeah.
leave
we'll
room,
do that week.
leave room for other stuff.
All right. So, first game of the season, Broncos playing at Raiders. Miles, win or loss?
Win.
Good.
Sit away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Loss.
Jorp,
Loss.
I'm going to say a win. Bears at home. Miles.
Pass. Come back to me.
Good.
Win. This is the speed round.
You
There's
can
no
pick one.
passing. There's no passing.
Loss.
There's no
I wasn't
passing.
prepared for that. I'm also going to say a loss. Miles, go.
Loss.
Week 3 at the Packers. Miles.
Loss.
Good.
Win.
Jordan.
Loss.
Loss. Week 4, Jags at home. Miles.
Loss.
Good.
Win.
Jor.
Win.
Loss. Chargers at the Chargers. Where do the Chargers play right now? Are they still in that soccer
Also,
stadium?
Melvin Gordon hasn't made a decision on what's going on,
He's
so
holding out.
this weighs some important information on what's going to happen. I think.
So week 5 at the Chargers.
Win.
Good.
Loss.
Jor.
Loss.
I'm gonna say loss. Week 6, Titans at home.
Win.
Good.
Loss.
Jor.
Win.
I also say win. Chiefs at home.
Loss.
Good.
Who's
Win.
going to be the brave one?
Win.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes is going to suck this year.
Oh. Bold prediction.
On the radio
What are you
waves.
saying? Win?
Yeah, I'm saying win.
Chiefs
I
at
said
home?
win like 3 times.
Jordan?
Loss.
I'm gonna say win.
Whoa.
Following Gideon's footsteps. Alright, at the Colts.
Win.
Good.
If they don't get a running back from now and then, win.
Okay.
If they do
Sure,
loss?
I'm not writing that down.
Possibly.
Loss.
I'm gonna say win. Browns at home.
Win.
Win.
Loss.
Loss. Vikings in Minnesota.
Win.
Loss.
That's a tough one. Win.
Nah. I'm going to say win. Just to spite
We might
my
actually
family.
play NFC teams pretty well this year.
At the Bills.
Because it is the North, too.
Oh, win.
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 All right.
Chargers at home.
Win.
Did I say loss on the first one? Saying win.
Yes.
Win.
Loss.
Loss. At the Texans in Houston.
Loss.
Win.
Loss.
We played them really well last year.
Win. At the Chiefs in Kansas City.
Win.
In
That's
KC.
bold, yo.
I like it.
Lose.
Loss.
Loss. Lions at home.
Win.
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 Win. Raiders at home. Last game of the season.
Win.
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 Because we're going to need it for the
saying win.
playoff spot.
All right, talk amongst yourselves while I count.
Wow.
That was some great commentary, guys.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
think
talking about.
we've all predicted less wins than we did last year.
Hey,
I would say, yeah.
I was right on pace for 13-3 after like 2 weeks last year.
I was at 8-8, and I was still shooting for the stars.
I kind of want to watch Hard Knocks this year. That it's the Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders. That should be good.
Oh, that's why Antonio
AB.
Brown came in
They're
on
always a
a
disaster.
hot air balloon. I'm on TV, guys.
Gosh, it's so funny when you do it a speed round, you end up different than you thought you would. When you really calculate.
So you think the Broncos are going to do poo-poo-y?
Miles and Gideon, the same.
Nice.
11-5.
Dang.
That'd
All
be
right.
nice.
That'd
Jordan.
be way nice.
Yikes.
Possibly the realist or the worst pessimist. 6-10.
Ooh.
Me, the ever pragmatic middle ground. 9-7.
I think 9-7 is realistic.
We got a good range.
If we go on a streak, though, like we could easily take down 3 to 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
I think.
I think this is interesting.
I think we're gonna hit stride middle late of the season after the
It's
the
gonna
bye
be-
week.
Yeah, when's the bye week? Week 6?
10.
10? Oh, 10? Dang.
If
Yeah,
we-
that's gonna. We gotta go on a win streak then, because
Oh yeah.
when you're going 10 weeks straight,
It's brutal.
Dang, I
season.
predicted 8-1 over the last half, or 7-1 over the last half.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's a slow start.
The AFC West is just so difficult this year, I think.
It is.
Those
I'm
6
nervous.
games are probably going to
Yeah.
be the hardest games.
See, I got them at 3-3 after 6 weeks. Like, I think I agree with you. Yeah, the last half.
Yeah, I got them starting.
you and I were
0-3.
3-3.
Uh-oh.
I have
In the
them
first 6.
starting 1-4.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's yeah.
I have them starting rough.
If you guys had to single one game out, that's gonna be.
Ooh.
The most important.
I wouldn't say the most important, but
Most
maybe the most
entertaining?
impact, most impactful
Most
on the season.
impactful.
So I could see the Browns and the Broncos fighting for playoff spots with each other at the end of the season. So I would say that
That's
game.
not even really the end of the season. I mean, that's like.
But no, as far as what would weigh the most in the Broncos.
And that's the
making
game
playoffs
right
or
before
not.
our
I would
bye
say
week.
our matchups against the Chiefs.
I was gonna say this game against the Chiefs in week 14, depending on where we are.
15.
No, 14.
14, yeah. Or 15, because of the bye week.
Ah,
Miles is
15.
right.
Thank you.
17
Thank you.
weeks.
You're right. 15. That one, depending.
I
on
say the first Chiefs
if we
game.
play well, if we're chilling around 8-8, like that game could be a make or break.
If we're chilling at 8-8,
If we're trying to get a wild card spot.
I think the first game against the Chiefs is
you
going to
mean
be
8 and
huge.
7.
Yes.
So that'll be at home.
It's going to be at
So, yeah, that's
home,
game you
but
gotta
win.
I mean, like that's like right in the middle of
I
the
guess we should
season.
have said
when we're
chilling
in
around
stride.
like
Killing us
500.
right.
And then we have
you know,
kind of an
that's
off
better.
week against the Colts and then the Browns.
Right?
I'm scared about the Browns defense, but
Oh, actually, week 16 against the Lions, that could decide the number 1 pick in the draft. Broncos or Lions.
We're gonna be that bad.
Okay, 6-10.
I think the Bills are gonna be worse than that.
Bills are not. Yeah, I hope they start Peterman.
I think the Jags are going to
I
be
think Peterman's in
surprisingly
Oakland.
Good.
competitive.
I hope Oakland starts him.
I think the Jaguars could come out of the woodwork a little bit.
I think they're going to be scary with Foles.
Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
And they were my
There's something about him,
Super
man.
Bowl pick for the AFC last year.
And they
That
still have a
didn't work
solid
out.
defense. Because I think they still have Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. Yeah, their defense is still
Fournette.
legit.
The game, I mean, week 2 against the Bears, I think will be a fun game.
That'll be
Fangio.
well, we also have
It's a good
Bryce
storyline.
Callahan was from the
Yeah.
Bears.
Yep. It's a fun season. Like
So is our DC.
It's a fun lineup of games.
You know, I hope they finish between 6 and 11 wins. That'd be nice.
I really hope. Or higher. More wins. Minimum 6.
Yes. What was our record last season?
Was it 5 and
11?
11?
Gross.
I think it was 5 and 11. Yeah.
It was bad.
It's not good.
I would be so content at 9 and 7. I would
mean,
be
that could
content
be a
with the
playoff
winning.
season.
I would be content with a winning season.
Not
So I
a
think,
500
like-
season?
No, a winning season.
You'd be okay with a 500 season.
No,
Content with
I'd be grumpy at 500, content at 9 and 7.
Well, like,
Ecstatic
I
at 10 and 6.
As long as we don't get
Proud at
ties.
10 and 6.
I don't want
Ecstatic
any
at 11
ties.
and 5.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to be like the Packers or
No ties.
the Vikings.
The fact
No
that you
ties.
can get a tie
No
in
ties.
the NFL is
it's silly.
bizarre to me.
How funny would that have been if
We
one
don't
of us
even
in
have
the speed
ties
round
in beer
selected a tie?
pong.
I thought you were
We're
We're
gonna
tie
tie
the Browns.
Yeah.
10 and 10.
Like, I could see the Broncos and the Browns both going 9 and 7. That's why I think that might be the most important game against the Browns.
I could see
Be a
that,
big one.
especially if Baker can turn it up with his receivers.
I like Baker Mayfield.
That's gonna be scary.
That team's going to be so scary.
It's either
Landry
they're
and OBJ?
either going to
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
take all of their powers combined and be unstoppable, or implode in a very frightening disaster. I'm really learning.
I wanna say they're gonna
towards
be like that-
being epic, though.
I want to say they're gonna be like that good scrappy team that just guts out victories
Mm-hmm.
because of their
Gosh,
defense.
some personalities on that team.
Yeah. Now, I think Njoku's this is his second season,
Third.
Yeah.
third, second.
I think second.
I think it was rookie last year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But he
That
started
dude's a
coming on
beast.
late last year, which was nice for my fantasy team.
Yeah.
But
Did you get him on the waiver wire, or did you draft him?
I drafted him.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that
Second
dude's a
tight end.
monster.
Mm-hmm.
I drafted Philip Lindsay
Oh yeah.
right in.
A year later, and we're still there.
It's a new year.
Oh, it's never going
It
away.
doesn't count. It doesn't count anymore. Okay.
It's never going.
You don't have
Oh, wait.
Kamara.
Guess who's gonna have a real printed sticker this year? Philip Lindsay. I had to write him in last year. He wasn't deemed real enough by the NFL fantasy football manufacturing squad. If only they had that cool of a name, I bet they would be thrilled.
You're the only one that predicted it.
Yeah, me and like 10 other people that have no media. But we focus solely on me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are going to make it a goal to get a podcast out to you guys at least once a month, especially now that football is back. Can't thank you enough for tuning in, and hope you have an awesome weekend. Bye.
Cheers. Laters.
Peace.